Oklahoma. Huddle up. It's time to go inside the high school huddle on Hot 93.7 FM and streaming worldwide on GuthrieSportsPage.com. The high school huddle will take you where you want to go with coaches, players, your phone calls, texts, and tweets. Join the huddle and let's talk high school sports with your hosts, Chris Evans, Casey Porter, and Phil Nichols.
Good evening and welcome to the High School Huddle here on Hot 93.7 FM KSBI alongside Casey Porter and Phil Nichols. I am indeed Chris Evans as we get set for another hour of high school athletics as it is state championship week for a lot of schools. It's still the state semifinals for 3 classifications and the matchups are going to be awesome here this week. So a lot to get into this week.
Oh, yes. Is that where we talk?
Yeah, no
that's
doubt
where you guys come
about the Jones-John Marshall game is going to be interesting to me. I think that's one of them. I think is the most interesting. But, yeah, the matchups this week, you say it every week, Phil, that there are no bad teams.
There aren't any bad
left.
teams
There's
left.
no bad players, no bad coaches. No. So you got to bring your A game. I don't care who you are. If you do not come and play to the best of your ability, then you will not survive in advance, correct?
Yeah.
And we as a broadcast team, we'll have the Crescent Tigers on the video broadcast once again this week, and we'll talk about that here in just a little bit as Crescent goes and takes on Hooker, the Bulldogs. And see, I knew we didn't even get 8 seconds into it. I knew you were going to do that. I was like, do I start off now? Okay.
I mean,
okay.
What are you talking about?
We need to get that out of our system for Friday night, okay? The radio team. This is the year of the travel for us. We've been to Ardmore, we've been to Lawton, Guyman, Woodward, and we're about to go to Alva.
Who are they playing? Who are they playing up there?
The Bulldogs.
Bulldogs. That's good. Yeah, I feel like because we have this conversation every week when we're on the road. What time do you want to leave? What time? Everybody's got to coordinate stuff, and it seems like every week it's we could leave at noon. We might have time to eat. So I mean, it's a load.
It'll be a fun time once we get in Alva. They got a beautiful field, and it'll be a great place for Crescent and Hooker to hook up. I need to say Bulldogs.
Are we going glow bowling?
In
Alva? Oh, yeah. I've been glow bowling in Alva.
If you've been to Alva, you've been glow bowling. I mean, that's just part of going to Alva.
Okay, before thank you. Before we get into the ball games, we want to bring up an interesting deal here, because the Crescent Tigers ran into this, and a bunch of teams ran into it. I mean, Afton ran into this, but in the smaller schools, there are A, 2A, and 3A. There's an extra round because there's double the classes out there, or double the schools out there, and so if you win the district championship in 6A, 5A, 4A. B, C, you get to host two playoff games, assuming you win the first game. And then after that, it's a neutral field, and then obviously the state championship for a neutral field as well. But when you look at A, 2A, and 3A, you can only host 2 playoff games at home. And so like Crescent this week.
And Hooker had to go to Hominy, yeah.
Yeah, and so in Hooker, same situation, is you play those first 2, and then you have to go on the road. It's almost because that usually in all classifications, that first home playoff game, you're a big favorite. There are some upsets.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't give you a huge advantage because you're going to win that game no matter where.
Correct.
It's played.
And so you're like almost
the third round's where you need the home game.
The third game is when you need the home game, and then the underdog actually gets to host that third round playoff game.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely the fact that Crescent had to go play at that facility last week, having done nothing but be undefeated. All because we want to play by YMCA rules and say that, well, so-and-so can't host more than 2 games. For what reason? I mean, why can't a team that's undefeated and has done nothing but win every single one of their games?
And not only undefeated, but the district champion.
Yeah, why wouldn't they get home field advantage?
Well,
that's dumb.
Yeah, and I mean, last week, again, I'm going to say it, the facilities were
terrible,
horrible,
and it's not OCA's fault. That's not what we're saying.
No,
it just was not a facility that was ready for that type of environment.
There
they didn't have bathrooms.
There were 1,200 Crescent fans there.
1,700 total.
And I guarantee you, 900 of them had to stand the whole ball game.
Well, they didn't have an option but to stand.
Yeah.
Well, and the line trying to get in. I mean, they had 2 gatekeepers. The bathroom facilities weren't up to snuff. The concession stands were portable. The playing surface itself was terrible. We walked
rips in it.
Rips in. I mean, it was amazing how poor of a facility that was for a team like Crescent who did nothing but went undefeated, won their district, did everything they were asked to do. And then not only are you having to go on the road, which you shouldn't have to be. There's no reason why they should be on the road. You have to go play in a place like that. Why?
Yeah.
I mean, at least the OSSA could have made them play at Edmond Santa Fe,
well,
right?
and to the credit, Edmond Santa Fe was available to use. OCA decided to play that game at Edmond Memorial because that's where they've been playing their home games. They just wanted the comfort of where they've been playing. I think if OCA would have known the crowd that was going to be there, that Crescent Broads, I think maybe on – looking back on it, because there was a line for the men's restroom. I can only imagine what the women's restroom was like, but it could have been placed. But I think if they know there was going to be 1,700 people, I think they would have moved it to Santa Fe.
Now, saying all that, did we lose our connection?
We're good.
Okay. Saying all that, the folks that worked the game from Memorial did a great job. They worked hard.
Oh,
they were
no doubt,
very supportive,
no doubt.
very helpful. And they knew it was a bad situation. I mean, the administrator who was there, he said, "Hey," he said, "this is, this isn't good." He goes, "This is." I mean, he knew.
Yeah.
He knew, and so that creates problems. But it's it was not the ideal environment, to say the least. And to Casey's point, we talked to somebody that's on the OSSA board, and their explanation for it was, well, the thought is that you don't want anybody getting into the third round to have a home field advantage at that point. And I agree with what you're saying, Case. That was the explanation we were given.
Well, if any one team does have home field, it should be the team that won the district title, right? That's undefeated.
I agree.
I mean, my point is OCA did have home field.
Yep.
If that's your stance, then have it at a neutral site.
Right.
And meet it in between like they're doing this week with, playing Crescent and Hooker and Alva, which is pretty much in between.
Played the
at
game
a very
at the
nice
Rock, I mean, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, to say that we didn't want any one team to have a home field advantage, but then give the team
a home field advantage.
A home field advantage that didn't, that makes no sense.
Yeah. And if you look at it for the larger classifications, if the district champion, which is seeded number 1, and the bottom seed of the other district is 4, and the 4 does upset the number 1, well, then the number 4 team gets the host, where instead of the number 2 team hosting on the other side, they don't get the host. They get one playoff game no matter what, and if there's an upset, that team that upset, I guess the number 4 team turns into the number 1 team and gets the host of the playoff game.
That makes no sense either. Makes absolutely no sense.
You're not rewarding the teams
a number
in
2
order.
team's going to have to go to a number 4 team and play? That makes no sense.
It doesn't. No, I mean, to me, it's much like the conversations we had before that about the need or the necessity. Have we outgrown the need for, or do we just, do we need to spend resources there? I mean, you would think that, well, first of all, to say that you want to play at Memorial because that's your home field, I mean, that kind of proves our whole argument. You've got a one-loss team that's not a district champion competing, saying we're going to play home against a team that's undefeated and district champions. So not necessarily the best rule. I mean, I'd like to see them change it. I mean, I think if you've earned the right to, if you're district champion, you've earned the right to play at home, you should play at home until you get to the semis.
Well, either that or you certainly shouldn't have to go to somebody else's place.
Home place. Yeah, go neutral at least. You're right.
At least.
Absolutely.
I mean, that doesn't – that just makes absolutely no sense to me. I don't get it.
No, I agree.
And then at least vet the place, right? I mean, at least how many people who were making the decisions above OCA went to that facility, walked that turf, saw the rips in it, saw the lack of restroom space, saw that it wasn't going to be able to host 1,700 people. Who walked that? I mean, who vetted that place? Anybody?
And just remember, Edmond Memorial doesn't use that. They use it for a practice facility. That's not where they play their games.
Right.
So they, but
let me finish by saying the OCA people, you said it a minute ago, Phil.
Yeah.
They did an awesome job.
Well, they did a fine job.
They were awesome. This is not anything against them whatsoever.
No,
they did everything they could. They were very hospitable. They helped us. And, of course, we didn't have a press box to be in.
Yeah.
So we were outdoors on a table, and which was no big deal. I mean, that just is how it is. So, I mean, if you're from OCA, you did a wonderful job. That's not what we're talking about. It was the fact that it just should not have been at that facility.
Right.
Real quick, I want to get another thing in before we get to our opening timeout, and we're going to talk a lot of 6A, 5A, 4A, 3A, all the classifications out there. We won't talk a whole lot about B and C, I promise you that, because the games were ridiculous. But 6A, the 6A's had the week off. They had this big run of football, then they had a week off. As a coach, as a player, do you like that week off, or do you want to keep playing?
Absolutely not.
Keep playing.
Keep playing, no doubt. Especially if you're like a Bixby and you've just gotten hot.
Yeah.
Last thing you want to do is stop playing. I don't think an off week is good for anybody. I don't think. I wouldn't want to.
No, yeah. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't to me. No.
I mean, roll on. Now, we don't know what the injury
here's my
situation
point.
in these teams. There might be some teams saying, no, we needed the week. I mean, who knows?
Throughout the season, how many off weeks do you get in a high school setting? Teams who don't play a 0-week game.
0 off.
0. So why all of a sudden are you changing the schedule? You hear football coaches talk, they're creatures of habit, right? I mean, everything's got to be the same every week. So now you do this for 12 weeks, 13 weeks now, and all of a sudden you're going to change people's schedule,
right?
And their timings of when they do. I mean, there are some high school coaches that if you ask them, well, how are you going to handle an off week? They're going to go, I don't know. I've never had one. I have no idea how I'd even handle an off week, right? So why are you going to do that right? You're going to do that right before the final. Why'd you have to start with this topic?
And schools like Union, I mean, they're used to that. They've run into that. This is the first time Owasso has run into it. Right. Booker T. Washington, I'm sure they're probably used to it. And Bixby, they've been in these championship games, so they've had a week off. So most of those teams have probably know how to adjust. Owasso, I think, is the only one who hasn't gone through the week off before a state championship process right now. So anyway, we will talk about those 6A games, 5A games, all that, including the big matchup in Class A football, the Crescent Tigers and the Hooker Bulldogs in Alva. Should be a fun game on Friday night.
Wanted to congratulate my good buddy Corey Bales at Morrison, Oklahoma. Just kind of watching them and talked to him Saturday early on. It was like, well, this may be one of those rebuilding type situations for the Wildcats. They've won so many state titles throughout the years. Then they just kind of disappeared in the middle. There was nothing really great, nothing really bad or anything, so you kind of forgot about them. Then all of a sudden, here you go. Here comes the playoffs, and here they are popping up. And I know they lost 37-36 to Thomas, and their kicker is not healthy, so they had to go for 2, didn't get it, that kind of thing, and lost by 1 point. But I wanted to congratulate the community of Morrison again on another wonderful season. My good buddy Corey Bales on a wonderful job coaching. And Phil, you've been in this situation. With all the state titles Corey has won playing and coaching and all that, sometimes it's your teams that don't win the state titles that make you honestly feel like you've done your best coaching job. And I would say, I'll go out on a limb. I don't even think I'm going out on a limb. I think this was Coach Bales' best coaching job he's ever done at Morrison.
Yeah, we've seen that locally in Guthrie where we all live, where we've had some great teams over the years, but some of the best coaching jobs have came on those years when you won 6, 7, 8 games. And I mean, I know some people don't get that, and they would argue with that, I guess. But bottom line, I mean, especially in small towns, I mean, you play with whatever lives there, and it's not like you get to go recruit talent or so if you have a hole here, or if you get it, I mean, you can't do that. You're going to play with what you got, and what you got's what you got.
I'm thinking there's going to be some awfully good chances for the Wildcats at Morrison to put another couple gold balls.
I bet you're right.
In the trophy cases here in the next couple of years. I don't want to put undue pressure on them, but that would not surprise me whatsoever in the next couple of years.
Well, they got the first box checked. They got a great staff.
Yeah.
And
great community.
They've got
great
community support, and I mean, so it shouldn't shock anybody for Morrison to win a state title down the road.
Also good for me to see a blue blood, what I consider blue blood, Thomas back in it.
Yeah.
Thomas has been very good for many, many years. Kind of struggled, and now they're back to being in the state semifinals. Yeah. So.
We'll talk about that, Class A, and more as Morrison loses at home in overtime, 37-36. Wildcats in their season at 8-5. A5, once again, pretty good this season in football. Take our opening timeout. This is the High School Huddle on Hot 93.7 FM, KSBI.
Legacy Wealth Advisory Group, your business wealth advisory experts, provide consulting, training, and turnkey solutions for businesses and their employees. Legacy provides solutions and strategies for employee benefits, human resources, commercial insurance, estate planning, and tax planning. Visit them online at legacywag.com
or contact Legacy at 405-216-5578 for a free consultation and start planning your future today.
These tenders have always been my number one. Crispy, tasty, crazy delicious. They rule.
Celebrate Golden Shake's golden anniversary with Golden Tenders. Pick up the $6 3-tender deal today. 3 crispy hand-battered tenders, fries or mashed potatoes, a hot roll, gravy or sauce, and a 20-ounce drink. All for just $6.
50 years. You rock, Golden Chick.
Golden Chick.
At Brown Engineering, our civil and environmental engineering services specialize in water systems for rural water districts and small communities in Oklahoma. Our architectural services specialize in civic and commercial architecture for small to medium-sized communities throughout the state. For engineering projects, call Phil Brown or Mike Brown. And for architectural projects, contact Jana Phillips at 405-372-4848. Brown Engineering, Architecture and Engineering.
Hey, Blue Jay fans, Eskridge Chevrolet is a proud supporter of Guthrie High School sports. This season, Eskridge Chevrolet at I-35 in Guthrie is cheering you the whole way and will help you score a game-winning deal in getting the new or used vehicle that you need. Don't worry about your credit history. Eskridge Chevy can get you approved. Come see us at Eskridge Chevrolet, just a short drive to I-35 and the Guthrie exit on Division Street. Call 1-800-NEW-CHEVY or visit EskridgeChevy.com.
F&M Bank is a neighborhood bank with 8 branches and 17 ATM locations across 4 counties in central Oklahoma. F&M Bank can help you with all of your personal, business, and agricultural banking needs, or simply add efficiency to your business. Check out F&M Bank with online and mobile banking at www.fmbankok.com or download their app and have all of their services in the palm of your hand. F&M Bank is a neighbor you can count on. F&M Bank, member FDIC.
Hey, you in the third row. Yes, you. When was your last dental checkup? Dr. Lewis Turney and his staff provide dental care in a fun, relaxing environment. Still not convinced? Prefer to sleep through your appointment? No problem. We can do that too. Our staff can ensure you have a relaxing experience no matter what. Got kids? Hey, so do we. Come see what all the moms are talking about. Our kid-friendly staff loves to provide care to even the tiniest of teeth. Give us a call today. We've got the whole family covered.
Give Dr. Lewis Turney a call at 282-7600. Aspen Roofing is a family-owned roofing company with more than 20 years of experience and achievements across Oklahoma. Aspen Roofing takes pride in the personal service we provide on each job, and we strive to maintain the highest level of quality while offering our customers a reasonable price. It is our commitment to help you understand the process of getting a new roof from start to finish. Call Robbie Hudson for a free roofing estimate at 405-562-0026.
What makes a great bank? Financial strength, convenient hours in multiple locations, the latest financial tools. Bank First offers this and more, a lot more. In fact, Bank First employees volunteer with nonprofits, serve on school boards, church and civic groups in every city we serve. Bank First does this because we're more than just another bank. We're an integral part of 50 Oklahoma communities. Bank First, loyal to Oklahoma and you. Member FDIC.
Sometimes you need immediate care and can't get in to see your doctor during regular hours. With Mercy Convenient Care in Guthrie, you can walk in without an appointment and get the medical attention you need at a lower cost and with shorter waiting time than your local emergency room. The Mercy Convenient Care is located at 2919 South Division. For any concerns, call 405-282-6301. Services are provided by Mercy Hospital, Logan County. Choose Guthrie. Choose Mercy.
Welcome back to the High School Huddle. Join the huddle yourself and let us know your thoughts by calling our toll-free number at 1-800-897-3678. Don't have time to call? Send us a text at 405-973-8645 or simply tweet us by using the hashtag OKHSHuddle. Now let's get back in the huddle and talk high school sports.
It is a High School Huddle, Hot 93.7 FM, KSBI, taking to the top of the hour alongside Phil Nichols, Casey Porter. I'm Chris Evans, and we are presented by the Legacy Wealth Advisory Group, LegacyWag.com, LegacyWagBenefits.com. That's usually when you say...
What is LegacyWag.com?
It's an online
Phil?
shopping network.
Okay.
We do all kinds of cool things, real exciting stuff like taxes and state plans. The stuff you wake up every day and say, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to go get my state plan.
That's why it's better to let other people deal with all that fun stuff and
right.
just say, take care of me. This is what I want. This is what I need. This is what my family needs. Now, plug me in. What do I need to do?
Right. I mean, and that's what most of our clients do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, we're fortunate to work mostly off of referrals, and so when folks come to us, it's because somebody usually told them to come to us, and works out well. So we have a great staff there and super people.
The video broadcast of this, you can see the Legacy WAG right above Casey's head. That thing right there. That's amazing. That is Legacy WAG right there.
I saw our interviews Friday night with the Crescent game on YouTube. I'm way balder than I realized I was. I have a lot less hair than I ever thought I had.
Amateur hour.
Yeah.
Jeez. Just step up, buddy. Quit fighting it. We need a shortstop on our team.
You're saying just dive all in?
Just in.
I'll get you a year subscription to that razor place. Take her off.
Well, obviously, the 6A teams were off as we await Tulsa Union and Owasso in that state championship game. They both shut out their opponents in the semifinals 21-0. And we've been talking Union Owasso all season long before even Jinx lost a football game. We were talking Union Owasso on this show, and lo and behold, it is Union and Owasso. And Kirk, it's a great coaching matchup, and that's a lot of intrigue before you even get onto the field.
Well, two of the best to ever coach high school football in Oklahoma are going to head-to-head, both Hall of Famers, both won multiple state titles, great success everywhere they went, and they both have a lot of athletes, so both have communities that are squarely behind them, and the added intrigue is, of course,
Coach Blankenship.
Coach Blankenship led Union to 3 state titles, I believe, when he was at Union, I think it was. So, I mean, it's, there's a lot of storylines in this one, a lot of great athletes, a lot of great coaches. Should be a whale of a ball game.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's going to be a whale of a ball game, but for some reason I just have no interest in it.
Yeah.
I just cannot, and I don't know why, but 6A1 this year I just have had no interest in.
Well, I'm going to tell you something.
It's unbelievable. I mean, I'm not looking forward to the game. I mean, I really don't care who wins, so that there's just no vested interest there for me at all. And I'm sure I'm wrong there, but
the excitement of following Crescent the last few weeks and watching the fans of Crescent and how they react and respond and
the hunger.
Man, I mean, that's what high school football's all about to me. You've got generations of players there. They still live in Crescent. Their boys or nephews are now playing. That's high school football.
We will get to the Tigers here in just a little bit. So 6A finals is Owasso Union. 6A Division II, which has been a fun class to watch all season long, as will feature Bixby and Tulsa, Washington. District matchup there, but Tulsa, Washington favorites going into that ball game. They got several great athletes on there. Bixby, slow start, great finish, surprise win over Midwest City, 14-12.
Big time.
Bixby in the finals, trying to win the 4th straight state championship.
Don't overlook them, obviously. I mean, you have a team and a program that's used to winning championships. We see that goes sometimes a lot further than talent does.
Yeah.
Now, not that Bixby doesn't have talent, but they don't have as much talent as Midwest City. There's no way they have that much talent. So just the fact they have the experience factor, their coaches know how to handle each situation properly to put the kids in the right situation, and they continue to perform when it matters. And so, you can't ever say that Bixby won't win that game, but I'm going to say Bixby won't win that game.
Yeah.
I just don't see any way they beat Booker T.
It'd be an upset.
Yeah.
If they win the game. Now, just like you said, they're going for the 4th in a row, so don't count them out. All these seniors, they've won the gold ball every year they've played high school football, so there's some motivation there, and a great staff there as well. So, it should be a great game, but I think at the end of the day, Booker T's just got too many athletes, too many difference makers.
This is a game I'm kind of hoping Stillwater's in this time next year.
Yeah, gosh, we're pulling for them this year.
They have the ability to do so.
Yeah, they do.
We know Gunnar Gunny should be there.
Well, now they know Gunner. Now they know Gunner's not going
I
anywhere.
set that up on a tee, and he took a swing at it.
I think Gunner will be there.
Right down the middle. Right down the middle.
Right down the middle, and he just
middle.
knocked it out of the park.
Sure did.
All right, we'll move down to Class 5A football. Carl Albert Titans remain undefeated. They take down Skytook 42.
Carl Albert won?
42-12. They are now 13-0. The Taylors once again go off on touchdown runs and passes and all that good stuff as Skytook ends their season 11-2. And then McGinnis and Noble hook up, and McGinnis wins 38-10. And it's got to be so frustrating for the Noble Bears as you've had so many losing seasons. This was the first time they've ever made the state semifinals. It has taken their community 20, 30, 40 years to have a team this good, and then they run into a McGinnis team that's having so average. They've lost their two best players, and they're still playing a state championship. Yeah. So it took their community's best team in their program to get to the state semifinals to get beat by 28 points to private school McGinnis.
Yeah, and the good thing for those of us.
You just struck a nerve with a lot of people in Oklahoma right there, brother. I promise
on
you
both
did.
sides.
But, and every class.
Yeah, but I would tell you that, and we've been saying this for weeks. There's no such thing as a guarantee on a sporting event. But boy, this is about as close as I think I'll ever.
But you're
come
guaranteeing
to.
it.
Well, Carl Albert is just. Yeah. They will have to beat themselves for them to lose this game. They will have to turn the ball over several times, just play the absolute worst game they've ever played for this group of kids to lose to McGinnis in the state championship.
Last week, Carl Albert had no turnovers and 2 penalties.
Yeah, he probably just jinxed them.
McGinnis would have to have the ball all night. They'd have to run it at 2 or 3 yards a clip.
You said it. I was just reporting the facts. You're the one who says they're going to have to turn it over and do all this to get beat. I was just backing you up.
Okay, Chris.
All right.
But I think this, as we have all year, we've seen both these teams from the field in a live game.
I think we saw McGinnis's worst game of the year. Would you agree with that, as far as the way that they played?
Probably. But I would tell you, there's one big thing missing in addition to their linemen, and Chris alluded to it, it's Piedmont transfer.
Dominic Richardson.
Dominic Richardson's out as well, one of the top running backs in the state of Oklahoma. So it's going to be tough. Anything's possible, but I don't think it's very probable.
Yeah.
So
it's a rematch of last year's state championship. Carl Albert and McGinnis. Carl Albert trying to go back to back, and we watched almost the entire season of 5A football, and it was, to be honest with you, pretty boring this year in 5A football.
It was boring. Yeah.
Well, you knew who was going to win the state title to begin with as soon as you saw Carl Albert.
Week 3, week 4, we had a pretty good idea.
Yeah. The funnest part of it, I think, was watching Noble. Yeah, and the run that they went on, and just kind of
the way the community got behind them, as we've seen it with many communities. And Noble,
what Crescent's doing right now.
Yeah, and Noble, they had the elementary kids making signs. There was marquee signs all over. I got to tell you, Noble is slowly getting there. Their baseball team, state tournament team, their basketball teams, they're down, but they're getting better. But the facilities are getting better.
New baseball field.
A new baseball field, new turf, new end zone building thing, the fancy things.
They definitely need a new gym.
And that's coming in 16 months. They are building a facility like Shawnee and Chickasha.
Oh, really?
Yes,
nice.
in 16 months.
Most importantly, there's a different attitude in Noble.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to really make them good is we've got some talented kids over there, and they're starting to expect to win games, starting to expect to be deep into playoff runs regardless of what sport it is. And so
it does help they play in 5A3.
It does.
Help on the east side. It does. But that's part of it.
But I'm telling you,
but what
they've got some kids. And they got some kids coming up too. They've got a 7th grade quarterback over there. We were talking about this morning. It's a lefty
Shane Fisher's boy.
Yeah, his dad was a heck of an athlete over there. That's a left-handed quarterback that can flat get her done.
Oh man,
yeah. So they've got a lot of young kids coming up. They're going to be really good.
So the Noble Bears season ends with a loss to McGinnis. Final score there was 38-10. It was a 17-10 ball game at halftime, but McGinnis with 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to really seal that ball game there. So again, 5A final, McGinnis and Carl Albert, rematch of last year's state championship game. Class 4A football real quickly. Bethany goes down to Ada. The Ada Cougars back in the state championship, something they've done many, many times over the years. Not as of recently, Casey, but
it's the year of the Blue Bloods.
Yeah, 26-22, and Ada had actually trailed at halftime by 2, and was able to get shut out Bethany in the third quarter. That was the difference, as each team scored a fourth quarter touchdown, but Ada wins by 4.
If you've ever played a football game in Ada, Oklahoma, and you get out at East Central's facility, which is where we played,
yep,
the first thing that they're going to tell you, the person who's there administrating from Ada, is they're going to say, "Welcome to God's country." They are very proud of that area of the world. They're proud to be from Ada, and they're proud of their football programs and their community. It's a fun place to go watch and observe high school athletics.
So Ada's in the championship, and we take a look at Blanche. Ada.
Ada's in the championship. Ada. Okay.
Cougs. And so the other semifinal game was Blanchard and Heritage Hall. And you look at Blanchard, and they had some good wins over their season, including just the week before took down Wagner 23-14 to end the 11-man longest winning streak of 48 games. Won that ball game and was one of the most playing as well as anybody could. And they play Heritage Hall and get beat by 30.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Heritage Hall and 4A is very similar to what we talked about with CA and 5A, right? I mean, they're similar.
Yeah.
Except for their private school.
Right. Asterisk. But there's but we'll be. But I know many of us will be pulling for Ada come this week.
Because of that factor?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I think there's people that fundamentally think that private schools have an advantage over public schools when it comes to kids coming in. I mean, I don't know. They've tried to adjust. They've tried to address that somewhat over the years, but
when you take
maybe they just have a good run of kids.
Yeah, when you take ADM and you compare a private school to a public school, that's fine to say that, say, a Guthrie has 900 kids in the high school, 450 males, let's say.
Yeah.
But of those 450 males, what percentage of them actually even play a sport?
About 85 to 100 kids, depending on the years, what plays a sport.
Okay, whereas if you look at a McGinnis-type place, so you're saying maybe 40% of males at Guthrie play a sport? Are you saying that, Phil? 40 to 50%? A place like Guthrie?
No,
that'd be high.
It's much lower than that.
Lower. So let's say 25-30% of males at Guthrie High School play a sport.
Yeah.
Okay. So out of 450, you're looking at 100 athletes. Whereas you take a place like McGinnis, what percentage of their males play a sport? 90?
It's high.
I don't know the percentage. It's high.
But it's got to be 80 to 90, doesn't it? So you're looking at a talent pool of every bit of twice the amount of kids.
And then what doesn't help their cause is when you look around historically and you see kids that have played at 4 different schools.
Yeah.
And now they're at, we'll just use McGinnis because they had a young man a few years back that played at a couple different schools and until he found a place where he could start. And bottom line is that's what feeds this feeling with many people. Yeah. I mean, it's just it's interesting.
That, and if you've ever been to a small school basketball tournament in the big house, and to Chris's point, he made it perfectly, and you go watch a community that has their best team they've ever had in 150 years.
Yep.
It's taken them 150 years of existence since Founders Day of that community to get a team this good. And they go getting beat by a bunch of alphabet kids that their last names are 19 letters long, and they're all from a million different places, and you go get beat by that team.
Doesn't feel right, does it?
Oh, it's
doesn't feel right.
Woo, no.
Yeah,
no.
And it's even tougher in golf, tennis, and
cross country.
Cross country.
If you're going to go and you're going to get beat by another community that has their best team they've ever had in 150 years, let's have at it and duke it out, right? And be proud of each other afterwards.
Right,
absolutely.
Real quickly, Class 3A football, Beggs comes to Edmond and takes down Oklahoma Christian. Final score there, 32-26.
That was a good game.
Yeah, it was.
Oklahoma Christian came back. I mean, they were way down, and they scored like 3 times in the fourth quarter and made it a game.
And John Marshall made the track to Idabel and won that game 38-20.
That was another one of those is, what in the world is John Marshall doing going to Idabel? That doesn't even make any sense, does it?
A long way down there. Jones takes down Sequoia Tahlequah 42-6, and it wasn't Sequoia Tahlequah that took down Berry Hill.
Mm-hmm.
I think was that the team? Yeah, 32-30. So that Jones, it just shows you how Jones, and we've been talking about them since day one, and picking them as the 3A state champions. And the other game, Sulphur takes down Sperry. So you have a Beggs, John Marshall semifinal, and Jones and Sulphur semifinal.
Yeah. Well, I got a quick question.
Devontae Lee did not play, by the way.
Yeah, he did
as
not.
We projected.
Is he going to play this week?
Don't know.
Don't know. Nobody knows.
One of our viewers wanted me to ask Chris who his favorite all-time college basketball player is.
Oh, Ryan Miner.
Ryan Miner. Where did he go to school?
OU. Well, you went to Hammond.
Coincidence, of course.
I have tied. I have two that are tied. I couldn't give you one.
One of your lifelong pals helped you out there.
No, okay. That was pre-show, so no one knows what we're talking about.
I have that incorrect. For some reason, I was thinking Jones and John. I said that at the top of the show. Jones and John Marshall. That they do not play this week. I was thinking they played in the semifinals this week. They don't.
Okay.
Yeah. So that will be. That is Class 3A, and let's quickly get down to Class 2A football. Alva takes down Adair 40-8. Davis.
Blue blood.
Oh, my goodness. I actually saw this game. It was in overtime, 28-27. Davis in overtime goes and scores early, kicks the extra point. Holland Hall scores, and it's a bad snap on the extra point. Never got it off, and that's how Holland Hall ends their season, on a bad snap on a PAT to send it to double overtime.
Private school?
They are private school.
Okay, sure.
Millwood, the upcoming state champions here in a couple of weeks, takes down Vian 44-0. And Washington, there's another blue blood for you, takes down Commerce 63-21.
Chris, can you name me a Division I football player from Vian, Oklahoma?
Here we go.
Vian, Oklahoma?
Mm-hmm. You'll remember the name, I think.
Vian.
He went to OSU.
Went to OSU. He probably doesn't know.
Football player went to OSU.
Yeah, I remember someone being from Vian, but I won't.
Was
Kenyatta Wright.
Kenyatta Wright, yeah.
Remember that name, linebacker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did a little radio, too.
Yeah, he was from Vian, Oklahoma.
I'll be darned.
Real quick, because we're going to take another break and come back Class A football and break that one down. But here's your Class B scores. 46-0, 54-12, 58-8, and 48-0.
Close ball games.
Oh, Class B.
Nail biters.
Class C football, 56-8 and 40-8.
Close ball games. Nail biters.
So Pond Creek Hunter and Tipton will play for the Class C state championship. We've been talking about Pond Creek all season long, expecting the Van Shays to win another state championship. And we got
Van Shay thinks that could be a close game. I don't know. We'll see.
Davenport moves on in Class B. Depew moves on. Laverne moves on. And Shattuck moves on.
If you remember last year, Pond Creek was in the finals, but they lost their quarterback. I think they would have won it a year ago if they hadn't lost their quarterback in that game. So I think this year they've got that. Not only are they talented and the best team, I think they have that hunger and drive to make sure that they reach that final step.
Similar scenario as to 4A, where they were without their quarterback last year. He's back and setting the world on fire. So.
Absolutely. All right. We've gone through all the classes except for Class A.
Save the best for last.
Best for last. Yep. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we're going to talk about those Crescent Tigers and what they got to do to get to the state championship game. Yep. It should be a good one in Alva. We'll talk about that after this timeout. This is the High School Huddle on Hot 93.7 FM, KSBI.
Hey, you in the third row. Yes, you. When was your last dental checkup? Dr. Louis Turney and his staff provide dental care in a fun, relaxing environment. Still not convinced? Prefer to sleep through your appointment? No problem. We can do that too. Our staff can ensure you have a relaxing experience no matter what. Got kids? Hey, so do we. Come see what all the moms are talking about. Our kid-friendly staff loves to provide care to even the tiniest of teeth. Give us a call today. We've got the whole family covered.
Give Dr. Louis Turney a call at 282-7600. Aspen Roofing is a family-owned roofing company with more than 20 years of experience and achievements across Oklahoma. Aspen Roofing takes pride in the personal service we provide on each job, and we strive to maintain the highest level of quality while offering our customers a reasonable price. It is our commitment to help you understand the process of getting a new roof from start to finish. Call Robbie Hudson for a free roofing estimate at 405-562-0026.
What makes a great bank? Financial strength, convenient hours in multiple locations, the latest financial tools. Bank First offers this and more, a lot more. In fact, Bank First employees volunteer with nonprofits, serve on school boards, church and civic groups in every city we serve. Bank First does this because we're more than just another bank. We're an integral part of 50 Oklahoma communities. Bank First, loyal to Oklahoma and you. Member FDIC.
Sometimes you need immediate care and can't get in to see your doctor during regular hours. With Mercy Convenient Care in Guthrie, you can walk in without an appointment and get the medical attention you need at a lower cost and with shorter waiting time than your local emergency room. The Mercy Convenient Care is located at 2919 South Division. For any concerns, call 405-282-6301. Services are provided by Mercy Hospital, Logan County. Choose Guthrie. Choose Mercy.
Hey, Blue Jay fans, Eskridge Chevrolet is a proud supporter of Guthrie High School sports. This season, Eskridge Chevrolet at I-35 in Guthrie is cheering you the whole way and will help you score a game-winning deal in getting the new or used vehicle that you need. Don't worry about your credit history. Eskridge Chevy can get you approved. Come see us at Eskridge Chevrolet, just a short drive to I-35 and the Guthrie exit on Division Street. Call 1-800-NEW-CHEVY or visit EskridgeChevy.com.
F&M Bank is a neighborhood bank with 8 branches and 17 ATM locations across 4 counties in central Oklahoma. F&M Bank can help you with all of your personal, business, and agricultural banking needs, or simply add efficiency to your business. Check out F&M Bank with online and mobile banking at www.fmbankok.com or download their app and have all of their services in the palm of your hand. F&M Bank is a neighbor you can count on. F&M Bank, member FDIC.
These tenders have always been my number one. Crispy, tasty, crazy delicious. They rule.
Celebrate Golden Chick's golden anniversary with Golden Tenders. Pick up the $6 3-tender deal today. 3 crispy hand-battered tenders, fries or mashed potatoes, a hot roll, gravy or sauce, and a 20-ounce drink. All for just $6.
50 years. You rock, Golden Chick.
Golden Chick.
At Brown Engineering, our civil and environmental engineering services specialize in water systems for rural water districts and small communities in Oklahoma. Our architectural services specialize in civic and commercial architecture for small to medium-sized communities throughout the state. For engineering projects, call Phil Brown or Mike Brown. And for architectural projects, contact Jana Phillips at 405-372-4848. Brown Engineering, Architecture and Engineering. Legacy Wealth Advisory Group, your business wealth advisory experts, provide consulting, training, and turnkey solutions for businesses and their employees. Legacy provides solutions and strategies for employee benefits, human resources, commercial insurance, estate planning, and tax planning. Visit them online at legacywag.com or contact Legacy at 405-216-5578 for a free consultation and start planning your future today.
Welcome back to the High School Huddle. Join the huddle yourself and let us know your thoughts by calling our toll-free number at 1-800-897-3678. Don't have time to call? Send us a text at 405-973-8645 or simply tweet us by using the hashtag OKHSHuddle. Now let's get back in the huddle and talk high school sports.
Legacy Wealth Advisory Group. That's who we're presented by here on the High School Huddle, 93.7 FM, KSBI, LegacyWag.com, LegacyWagBenefits.com. Great place for insurance rates. Also great place for business owners to go out there and get some help for your employees. You're busy enough and just let the fine folks at Legacy Wag help you out. Takes the stress off of you so you can concentrate on what you do for day-to-day to make your business successful. And we are here on this chilly.
It's chilly.
It's getting closer to football weather, whatever that is. But Casey Porter, Phil Nichols, Chris Evans with you, and we will now talk Class A football. Of course, we will begin with the Crescent Tigers, who take down Oklahoma Christian Academy 70-41. The story of this ball game was, well, it's not the story, but 7 touchdowns by one guy is kind of a big deal. But but Crescent trails 14-7, 7-0 and 14-7.
Yeah,
for the first time this year. The first time this year.
Yeah, learned a little something about the kids. I mean, they were overcome really, that took them a while to get used to the speed of a couple of the kids from OCA.
Dre Hill was good, wasn't he?
Yeah, and then they just played kind of flat. I mean, overall, they didn't make some adjustments defensively, but they got it turned around, and man, oh man, here they come.
And I think we talked about it earlier, and Coach Bales and the job he did at Morrison. I think that game helped playing Morrison, helped them prepare for what they saw because a similar offense. It's It's more the wing T at Morrison, but it's still the flex bone there at OCA. But more so than anything, Morrison took it to Crescent early in that game and kind of put them behind the 8 ball and forced them to have to respond. And I think that having happened in that game prepared them for what happened last week against OCA, and they knew how to deal with it. So I think they handled it very well when they got behind, and they knew the type of offense they needed to run to get Hunter Bowers going. The big question is, well, we won't go there, but that they knew exactly they knew exactly what they needed to do offensively to get on the scoreboard and stem the tide from a momentum perspective, and get back in the game, then take the lead, and then eventually take over.
Yeah.
You're thinking the Hooker Bulldogs might be watching this high school huddle?
We're big in
the Oklahoma Panhandle. We're huge in the Oklahoma Panhandle. By the way, Hunter Bowers over 300 yards and scored 7 touchdowns.
He was a man. I mean, my new favorite line of yours is "Get off me."
Yeah.
When some kid comes up and tries to tackle him, and Hunter flicks him off.
Because it's so accurate, right?
It is. It's visible, right, with these kids at Crescent. They love the game. They're smart football players. They play as a team. They love their community. I mean, they've got everything going for them right now. Just got everything going for them right now.
Got to win 2 more games.
2 more games to have that parade and all that goes with it. And I'm not changing my. I think they're going to get there.
They're by far the best team.
I think they are.
I say by far they are the best.
They're
team.
the best team, and they're the best team in that class, no doubt.
Win 2 more games, then the debate begins.
Which is?
Who's better, 2017 or 1990?
Oh, we got a couple of weeks away from that.
Oh, boy. That's a whole series we could do, right?
Right now it's 1990.
Got to win 2 games to start that conversation.
To even have that conversation. But Tigers are 4-4 in semifinal games throughout their history, and I had a great point, and it just Crescent, we talked about the University of Oklahoma and outscoring everybody and how you're going to stop. Can you outscore them? That's the same thing we can look at Crescent. Are you going to be able to outscore them?
Yeah.
Well, although throughout the season, Crescent was dominant defensively. They were as dominant defensively as they were offensively. Coming into the playoffs, they're only averaging giving up 11 points, but
you got to outscore them.
Yeah, no doubt. But I think of all the teams that play defense, Crescent has the best defense. Now, it's going to be – obviously, when you look at what OCA was able to do, that's a stressing team to play, because when you talk about what Wilson, as quarterback, was able to do, and then you had the bowling ball and Boo that could run all those power plays up the middle, and then when you have the speed of a kid like Dre Hill, that can pop those counter plays that we saw to the outside, that is a stressful offense to try to cover. And so, although Crescent did give up 41 points, that was a good performance by them. They did a good job on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, they still beat the brakes off of.
Yeah, if you're OCA, you score 41, you probably feel like you should win, but you cannot outscore this Crescent offense.
Right.
And what's so great about this Crescent offense is that yes, they ran for 385 yards. But they threw down and stretched it out with Bowers to Lovett 3 times, caught him in stride 3 times. For 3 catches for 3 touchdowns for Lovett, and just,
Obviously, they would line up, on that diamond, and they'd bring man coverage on the outside and then throw it deep. That was awesome, But I'll tell you, another kid that went completely kind of under the radar that had some huge catches was Tristan Rolls.
Yeah.
They would play that off coverage, and then he would just kind of go to the sticks and sit there, and then Bowers would hit him, and he caught them all. And if you remember, Crescent got down early, and they went to throwing the ball, and Tristan Rolls caught it, and the next thing you knew, they scored, and it just kind of settled the game down. So I think an unsung hero of that game was the play of Tristan Rolls. And obviously, he was very busy in the kick game as well.
Yeah.
But I thought he had a fabulous game offensively.
Yeah, and I think, I'm going to go back to Hunter for a second, Hunter Bowers, quarterback. Yeah, he can just flat. I mean, he's got great touch on his passes. He can really spin the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, he came in that second half, and I mean flat threw some darts.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, it was impressive what he could do. We all know he can run kids over, but I mean, he can hurt you with his big arm too. There's no doubt about that. From
a defensive perspective, I know they gave up 41 points, but what won that game from them, that triple option, I said it all week last week during the broadcast. It's dive, then it's quarterback, and then it's pitch. It's triple option offense. And what Crescent did, which is what you exactly have to do, they stopped the dive play.
Yep.
I mean, the dive play was not successful at all for OCA. Now, they got loose maybe once or twice. When you talk about as many plays they run, they did a wonderful job in that dive play. Now, Wilson got loose a little bit, and obviously Dre Hill got loose 3 or 4 different times. But it's kind of like, these the air raid teams like Texas Tech, and you always go, well, how did OU beat Texas Tech? They stopped the run.
Right.
So you stop that dive play, and although they're going a couple of big plays outside, they can't stay consistent with it, and then eventually you overtake them, and that's exactly what Crescent did.
So the Crescent Tigers advance to the semifinals. They will take on the Hooker Bulldogs, who are 12-1 on the year.
Very good team.
That went on the road, as we talked about in our first minute, went on the road, took down Hominy 35-18. So no matter what happens, we will have a new Class A state champion.
Yeah.
Yep. Dawson Metcalf, about a 6'4", big old kid on the outside, receiver, good player. Can't remember the kid's name, but number 7's one of those little 5'10", 6-foot slot back type guys that catches all their bubble screens. And they have a big quarterback that will remind you of Hunter Bowers in Yarborough. Big old kid with a big arm. And Coach Yarborough, their offensive coordinator, will line them up anything, and we saw this with Rejoice Christian 2 weeks ago, anything from 0 personnel, empty backfield, all the way to 32 personnel with 2 fullbacks, 3 guys in the backfield, and 2 tight ends.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at how do you line up against this Hooker offense, good luck, because they are extremely versatile, extremely multiple, and in any one given play back-to-back, they'll go from empty all the way to running power plays up the middle. So it is a Hooker offense that is 100% legit. It'll remind you of kind of the Crescent offense, as versatile and as talented as it is, and it's going to be an absolute showdown.
And just a small amount of film that I've seen them on it, and just looking at and researching it, it seems like they play a little bit a chip on their shoulder as well.
Yeah, they do.
They have a big, as much as Crescent's rally community, they're doing the same thing up in the Panhandle.
Sure.
So
the community's very excited about it.
They're very excited.
I expect to be a lot of people from both schools there Friday night.
It's going to be a big-time atmosphere.
The big-time atmosphere is going to come down to what we kind of call the big 3, and of course I think most of us would add a couple others on there with Portwood and some of those guys, but
Gavin Green.
Yeah, there's just some players out there, but Musil and Buzz and of course Hunter and Portwood. There's just a lot of them that on defense. Part of what hurt them last week, when Hunter was dinged up a little bit. It hurt him a little bit on offense, obviously, but you could direct snap to Buzz and still be effective. You still had Musil, who I think scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter the other night, who can really run the ball well as well.
He was a little bit disappointed, wasn't he?
What's that?
Musil.
What do you mean?
Well, he was trying to find somebody to run over there in the fourth quarter, and they kept ducking away from him, didn't they?
That's true. But everybody remember what Bowers did to that kid in the first. They said, no, we're not doing that.
No, thank you.
But it just saw what you would expect to see out of this Crescent team last week. Toughness, stayed together as a team, kept competing, kept playing, kept doing what they do, and they end up beating the team by 30 points. So
Hookers in the playoffs only Mangum, Ringling, and Hominy, and they've scored 26 points, 23 points, and 35 points. They're going to need they're going to need more than 35, I think, to win that one.
Score 50 to win the game,
or more, unless there's turnovers.
And if you look at the points they scored last week against Hominy, they were all big plays.
Yeah,
it wasn't like they don't like last week. OCA had the ability to hand it off to the fullback, run the counter play, then pull it out, the quarterback run it with Wilson. Yeah. They had the ability to go on drives and keep the ball away from Crescent. If you remember in the third quarter, they had a huge time of possession advantage, and you looked up and the game was close. Yeah. The way that Hooker played offense, at least last week against Hominy, they were 3 and out, and then all of a sudden big play. So that's not a good recipe for beating Crescent. The best recipe you have, obviously, is what people have tried to do all year, what OCA tried to do, and try to go 3 yards at a time, keep the ball away from Crescent, and play ball control, time of possession type offense. That's not really what Hooker does. So I think that's going to be an interesting facet to it.
It'll be interesting because the Tigers have already taken on a couple teams in the top 5 in Class A football, and again, Hooker's going to be one of those tough teams. And so if the Tigers can advance and move on and win their second state championship, it will be a playoff run of it wasn't just here and here. They would earn their way. But real quickly, we mentioned Morrison losing in overtime at home to Thomas, 37-36. The other big Class A matchup.
Well, you got to give Faye and Custer some credit there too, right?
Thomas Faye Custer. Okay. I apologize. Sorry, Faye. Sorry, Custer. But
custard.
The other one that everyone I think in Class A, if you talk to the neutral people that would love to see Crescent and Afton in that state championship game, Afton actually got behind Minko. Minko's one of the teams that we talked that could have a chance to win Class A. You know, they're one of the better teams, I should say. Minko jumps out to a 6-0 lead in the first quarter. Afton gets a touchdown extra and 2-point conversion to lead 8-6 at halftime. But then out of the locker room, Afton scores 16, and then it's 24-6, and then eventual score 30-6.
Yeah, and just too much. They run the ball too well.
Yeah, especially their quarterback, Will Amos, 20-yard touchdown run, 49-yard touchdown run, and a 1-yard touchdown run. And so Afton also remains undefeated this season as they put 303 rushing yards and only 33 passing yards. They didn't need the pass but that's the dream matchup if you look at Class A, folks, between Crescent and Afton. We'll see.
Yeah,
you know what's interesting to me, 7 or 8 years ago, everybody wanted to throw the ball every down, with all these air raids. And it's gone completely full circle. Now they're still in the spread formations, and they're still running, and they're still going at a really high, fast tempo and scoring a lot of points. So it seems similar, but it's gone all the way full cycle to where everybody's not running the ball again. They're scoring the same amount of points because all these defenses are trying to defense the pass, but yet everybody's running.
When's the last time you saw the triple option ran out of the shotgun?
Yeah, never. We saw that Friday.
Last week, and
it works.
It did.
And it's still. I was talking with Coach Bales about this. The best play in football right now going is that counter play, and we saw it ran for multiple long scores last week.
Yep. Should be a good one. In Alva, Oklahoma, it is Crescent Tigers and Hooker Bulldogs. We will be there for the broadcast. Take our final time out. We'll come back, wrap it up. This is the High School Huddle.
Legacy Wealth Advisory Group, your business wealth advisory experts, provide consulting, training, and turnkey solutions for businesses and their employees. Legacy provides solutions and strategies for employee benefits, human resources, commercial insurance, estate planning, and tax planning. Visit them online at legacywag.com or contact Legacy at 405-216-5578 for a free consultation and start planning your future today.
Hey, Blue Jay fans, Eskridge Chevrolet is a proud supporter of Guthrie High School sports. This season, Eskridge Chevrolet at I-35 in Guthrie is cheering you the whole way and will help you score a game-winning deal in getting the new or used vehicle that you need. Don't worry about your credit history. Eskridge Chevy can get you approved. Come see us at Eskridge Chevrolet, just a short drive to I-35 and the Guthrie exit on Division Street. Call 1-800-NEW-CHEVY or visit EskridgeChevy.com.
Sometimes you need immediate care and can't get in to see your doctor during regular hours. With Mercy Convenient Care in Guthrie, you can walk in without an appointment and get the medical attention you need at a lower cost and with shorter waiting time than your local emergency room. The Mercy Convenient Care is located at 2919 South Division. For any concerns, call 405-282-6301. Services are provided by Mercy Hospital, Logan County. Choose Guthrie. Choose Mercy.
What makes a great bank? Financial strength, convenient hours in multiple locations, the latest financial tools. Bank First offers this and more, a lot more. In fact, Bank First employees volunteer with nonprofits, serve on school boards, church and civic groups in every city we serve. Bank First does this because we're more than just another bank. We're an integral part of 50 Oklahoma communities. Bank First, loyal to Oklahoma and you. Member FDIC.
Aspen Roofing is a family-owned roofing company with more than 20 years of experience and achievements across Oklahoma. Aspen Roofing takes pride in the personal service we provide on each job, and we strive to maintain the highest level of quality while offering our customers a reasonable price. It is our commitment to help you understand the process of getting a new roof from start to finish. Call Robbie Hudson for a free roofing estimate at 405-562-0026.
Hey, you in the third row. Yes, you. When was your last dental checkup? Dr. Lewis Turney and his staff provide dental care in a fun, relaxing environment. Still not convinced? Prefer to sleep through your appointment? No problem. We can do that too. Our staff can ensure you have a relaxing experience no matter what. Got kids? Hey, so do we. Come see what all the moms are talking about. Our kid-friendly staff loves to provide care to even the tiniest of teeth. Give us a call today. We've got the whole family covered.
Give Dr. Lewis Turney a call at 282-7600. At Brown Engineering, Our civil and environmental engineering services specialize in water systems for rural water districts and small communities in Oklahoma. Our architectural services specialize in civic and commercial architecture for small to medium-sized communities throughout the state. For engineering projects, call Phil Brown or Mike Brown. And for architectural projects, contact Jana Phillips at 405-372-4848. Brown Engineering, Architecture and Engineering. F&M Bank is a neighborhood bank with 8 branches and 17 ATM locations across 4 counties in central Oklahoma. F&M Bank can help you with all of your personal, business, and agricultural banking needs, or simply add efficiency to your business. Check out F&M Bank with online and mobile banking at www.fmbankok.com or download their app and have all of their services in the palm of your hand. F&M Bank is a neighbor you can count on. F&M Bank, member FDIC.
These tenders have always been my number one. Crispy, tasty, crazy delicious. They rule.
Celebrate Golden Shake's golden anniversary with Golden Tenders. Pick up the $6 3-tender deal today. 3 crispy hand-battered tenders, fries or mashed potatoes, a hot roll, gravy or sauce, and a 20-ounce drink. All for just $6.
50 years. You rock, Golden Chick.
Golden Chick.
Welcome back to the High School Huddle. Join the huddle yourself and let us know your thoughts by calling our toll-free number at 1-800-897-3678. Don't have time to call? Send us a text at 405-973-8645 or simply tweet us by using the hashtag OKHSHuddle. Now, let's get back in the huddle and talk high school sports.
Hi and bye, real quick. State championship games, best of luck to the teams. I got Tulsa Union.
I got Union.
Owasso.
Okay.
I got Carl Albert.
I got Carl Albert.
And see, 4A. Yeah, we got a 4A. We got Heritage Hall and Ada.
I'm going with Ada.
Heritage Hall is going to win the game, but I'm rooting for
Ada.
3A, 2A, and A are in semifinals. Yeah. I think B's in semifinals. Yep. Oh, by the way, real quick, I messed up big time. Casey, I think you were right.
Yeah.
It's Washington versus Davis. Millwood taking on Alva. I don't know if I said that wrong, but I'm saying it anyway. Beggs takes on Sulphur, and Jones takes on John Marshall.
Yeah, okay.
So I apologize. I apologize from earlier. So best of luck to all your teams out there. We're going to do this all again one final time next week as we crown some state champions and get ready for some other state championship.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
This has been the High School Huddle presented by the Legacy Wealth Advisory Group on Hot 93.7 FM KSBI.
This has been the High School Huddle on Hot 93.7 FM. Be sure to tune in next week as we break down more of the top games and news from across the state of Oklahoma.